We've got 6 tools that every full-time traveler or even non-full-time traveler really needs to master before they head out to travel. And we're going to share those with you today. So, who are we?
We are Eat, Walk, Learn, Chris and Steve.
I'm Chris.
I'm Steve. Thanks for that. We have been traveling the globe for the last 3 years. We sold everything that we own, and all we have is our 2 carry-on bags. And we're thrilled to kind of tell you some about the travel tools that we use all the time. Simple tools, but they're really powerful. And we just going to kind of do a little demonstration here.
Yeah, and I think that the tools that we're going to tell you about, they're not new tools. I mean, I think everybody's going to know these tools, but maybe not how to use them for the problems that we try to solve with these tools. So we thought we'd just kind of talk about what we're going to do today. You got your cup?
What are we going to do today?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get up.
Yeah, and we need to go to the grocery store. Do we know how to get to the grocery store?
We do not know how to go to the grocery store, and since we don't have a car...
Yeah, and we either need to walk or take a bus, right?
Yes, I think we should use public transportation because I think it's a couple miles away and we're going to be carrying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first example of how we use Google Maps. So we are going to, in this example, we're going to tell you how to get to the grocery store with Google Maps by using the bus system. And we're going to cut away and I'm going to show you how I do it on the app to get to the local grocery store by using Google Maps. We love using Google Maps to help us get to wherever we need to go every single day, and we use it multiple times a day. In this particular example, I'm just going to show you how to use Google Maps on my computer, but it's the exact same thing in the app. So you go ahead and you open up the app and you'll type in where you are, and oftentimes your address will already be there or knows your current location. You need to type in where you're going to go, and you're probably used to using the actual Drive app part of this, where it shows you how to drive to the location. Well, as a full-time traveler, you learn how to use the actual transit part. And when you click on the transit, it will tell you how to get there, either by bus or plane or train or whatever it is that Google sees is the right way to get you there. And it will tell you exactly what time the bus comes, what the bus number is, and all the details about getting to that location. So you can see here, I'm going to walk 4 minutes to the bus station. I'll take the bus 12 stops, and I can follow along on what the stops are. I get to my location, and then I walk 1 minute. So the blue part is the walking part, the orange is the bus route. And what we often do is we'll get on the bus and we'll have the app open and watch the bus drive down the route, and we'll know that the stop where we need to push the button to get off the bus. Now, if you want additional information, the app will also show you down here at the bottom, usually the website to get additional information from the transit authority or whatever. And that's where you can find out how much it costs, how to pay for your bus ticket, whether you can use your phone, and so on and so forth. We love this app. We use it many times a day, and it is fantastic. There are cities that do not have their bus transit in the app. In that case, you probably want to download the local transit app for that city. But we have found Google works probably 95% of the time, and it is absolutely fantastic. All right, we got to the grocery store!
Yay! High five!
All right, but you know what? Well, you know what?
No, what?
I ran into my friend Kathy at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And that I met playing pickleball the other day here in town.
Sure, Kathy, the one with the hair.
Yeah,
and the face. Yeah.
And she says, you know what? Why don't you WhatsApp me later on, and we will make a time to play pickleball.
Everybody uses WhatsApp everywhere, except sometimes the United States. You don't think they've figured that out yet, but it's so easy to connect with people. One of the things about WhatsApp is that you've got to have a contact first before you can put the phone number in to connect with somebody. You've got to have a name.
Right, and there's nothing worse than standing there and saying, okay, how do you spell your name? And then put the phone number in, or you hand it to them. They're like, I don't know how to navigate your phone or whatever. So we're going to show you the secret tip to how to get a contact in your phone super easy without having to type anything. So we're going to cut, and I'm going to show you how to do this secret little tip in WhatsApp for finding your contacts or making your new contacts. WhatsApp has a great way to automatically add a contact into your WhatsApp. So go open up your WhatsApp and go to your chats screen. On your chat screen, you'll see underneath your gear icon a settings pull down. Go ahead and click on the settings. Then when you open up the settings, it will actually open up your screen with your name on it, and you'll see this little QR code right here. Go ahead and click on the QR code. When you click on that, your name and your QR code will show on your phone. You can see it says my code right here. Just show that to your friend, and what she'll do is she'll open up her WhatsApp. She'll go in just like she'll do all the steps that we just did, but she'll click on scan code. And when she clicks on scan code, she'll click OK and scan your code. When she scans your code, your name and all your information will show up in her phone, or she can pull up her QR code. You can scan her QR code, and all of her contact information will show up on your screen, where you can save it and you have your contact right in your WhatsApp without having to type it all in and possibly generate errors when you do that.
Okay, so how about that? I'm going to get a hold of Kathy, and we're going to go out and play pickleball.
Contact done.
Contact
WhatsApp
done.
is a very cool tool.
Yes.
It's something that we use all the time to connect with people.
Yeah, and definitely our go-to as we travel around the world. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you know what we haven't done yet?
What have we?
You're not very good at this play acting, honey.
You know what? No, what?
There you go. Laurel and Hardy here. We need to figure out those flights from Punta Arenas. Remember, we're going to Argentina. And
Yeah. So here's the deal. So we're planning next year to hike in Patagonia, and we're going to be in Buenos Aires, and we're going to need to go to Punta Arenas.
Punta Arenas.
Punta Arenas. And so last night I was looking this up on flights, and they were like $700-800
to go from Buenos Aires to
Punta Arenas. So I was like, this is just crazy. This seems like it's just costing way too much. So the problem is, how do we get a cheaper flight? And so I personally use a tool, a website called Skyscanner.
Yep.
And I know some people, and you use
Google Flights. I mean, we use them interchangeably, but what you did, you can do, what we're going to tell you about how to do a special trick on how to get a cheap flight. You can do it on both Skyscanner and on Google Flights, and we'll demonstrate that in a little breakaway.
But the trick here, what I'm saying is, a lot of people use Skyscanner because it has this to anywhere feature. And they think of where they're going, they want to go someplace and they want a nonstop, or they want a direct flight. And they want to know, well, where can I fly from where I am? But our particular problem is, I want to use it backwards. I want to say, we want to go to a destination, and where do flights fly from anywhere to that destination?
Who flies there?
Who flies there?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you use it the same way. You just kind of in backwards in reverse. It works the exact same way. So that's the problem.
Right.
How do we solve this one?
So the example that you actually pulled up was you typed in Punta Arenas, rather than find the $800 flight, you found that you could fly from Punta Arenas to Santiago, Chile for $75, and then from Santiago to Buenos Aires for $250. So the total price was $325 rather than $800. I'll demonstrate how to do that in the example. Yeah, I'll demonstrate how to do that in both Skyscanner and Google Flights. Super easy. It's the same thing in both ways, but just pick the tool that you like. And then we always recommend book directly at the airline, not through these third-party apps.
So I'm going to show you the special way that you can use Skyscanner and Google Flights to find flights to anywhere and find out what those prices are depending on anywhere you want to fly. So in this case, I am at the Skyscanner website. I've typed in Punta Arenas like Steve was looking for. I click Explore Everywhere for the to field. With Skyscanner, you do have to put a date in, but you can obviously play with your dates. You click Search, and up comes a very visual display of all the places that you can fly from Punta Arenas and their different prices. So $1,200 to Spain, $243 to different stops in Argentina, and so on and so forth. So it's really nice visually for you to be able to see. In this case, Steve was talking about a cheap flight to Santiago. I'm sure this is Santiago, Chile, because that's a picture of the Plaza de Armas in Santiago. $82. So if I go over to Google Flights, you do the exact same thing. Type in Punta Arenas, and you can click the choice anywhere. You don't have to do a departure date. You can just say whenever. Go ahead and click Explore. And what I like with Google is it pulls up a map and shows you where you can go. And in this case, I'm on an Australian website, so these are Australian dollars. And you can see the different prices it costs to go to different places within on the map. And you can even scroll in, and it will pull up additional places as you scroll in and double click in and find out what those prices are elsewhere. This is a great way to use both Google Flights and Skyscanner in order to find cheap places to go if you kind of open on where you want to go to. Or if you're trying to navigate someplace that looks like it's going to be expensive, maybe Skyscanner or Google Flights will show you a cheaper way and a hack in order to get you there. Nice. Talk to you soon.
I'm hungry, baby.
What are you cooking for dinner? What are you making?
Yeah, how about we make a reservation and save ourselves $30 or $40?
How can we save that much money?
Yeah, so we love this app. It's called Too Good to Go. It's not everywhere in the world, but it's in the most Western countries. And it's an app that the whole premise behind the app is that restaurants and grocery stores throw away a bunch of food at the end of the day or at the end of their meal time. So at breakfast, they might throw it away before lunch, or lunch before dinner, dinner before whatever. And you can go and get that food for next to nothing. So Too Good to Go. You just type in where you're going. You can say vegetarian, you can say fish, you can say all kinds of different choices. And it will tell you what restaurant has a bucket of food for you. Now, you don't know what it is.
Well, sometimes you know what it is, sometimes you don't know what it is, but it definitely saves on food waste. That's the whole idea. I tell Chris that feels a little bit bohemian is the word that I use, that hey, we're full-time travelers and we're going to find a way to get a meal.
Hack everything. But it is, I mean, you can go walk in and they'll give you a bucket of tikka masala or something, and the person next to you has the same thing, and they just spent $25 for it, and you got the same exact thing for $4 or $5. Right. Yeah, so it's a real win-win when it get. Now, not everything's been perfect about it. I mean, we've ended up with 35 donuts when we thought we were getting a loaf of bread, but we shared the donuts with our friends.
The 35 donuts were pretty awesome.
Okay, back to the Buenos Aires example, we do need to book our housing for there. Are we going to get a hotel? Are we going to do an Airbnb? What are we going to do?
Yeah, this is, housing is, we could talk about this forever and be on websites forever, because first we think about, Airbnb, and then we think about, let's maybe look at a hotel. Maybe let's use some of our points that we have, or let's look at other ways to kind of figure this out of where we're going to stay and how we're going to stay there.
Yeah, well, I didn't know when we started using Booking 3 years ago, whenever we started using it, I didn't know that Airbnb type properties are on there, or Airbnb properties are on there. So here's a special hack that we're going to show you is how to find an Airbnb property on Booking. And why is that an advantage? Because often it will be cheaper on Booking because Booking doesn't have the fees that Airbnb has. And the cancellation policies will be different on Booking. So what we have gotten in the habit of, we'll search and search and search, find the property that we want, and then we'll look for it both on Booking and on Airbnb, and then book at the site that is the best for us.
Yeah. And just one more thing, I really like the Booking.com because it's got a rewards program where you can start really saving some significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Airbnb has no kind of rewards program. You can be using it for months and months and months on all your properties, and it's like.
Well, I mean, you can link your purchase to Delta miles or whatever, but it's not good. And then if you link if you set it up to link to your Delta miles, you don't get the best prices on your Airbnb. So you really have to play a game there. So anyway. We'll show you that as we break away here.
So I found a really great example comparing Booking.com with Airbnb.com. I didn't realize that Booking.com had full homes that you could actually book the entire house for, like you can in Airbnb. When I discovered this is kind of the strategy I use now whenever I'm booking something where I want an Airbnb style location. So in this case, I went to Booking.com, I searched for Punta Arenas, and I found this one property called Casa Central in Punta Arenas. And if you scroll through it, you can recognize the pictures here. Pay attention to the pictures. And you can scroll through and see that a 2-bedroom house is $945 from our 13 nights, and that includes the taxes and fees. There is free cancellation until January 4th and no prepayment needed. Also notice that a booking does have a price match guarantee, and you can use that in case you find something cheaper someplace else. So let me go over to the Airbnb site. I found the same house. It was named a little bit differently, but it had the exact same pictures, and I put the same dates in. It is actually cheaper, and you can see that the price is $701, so it's a couple $100 cheaper, but the cancellation policy requires that you have to cancel before December 6th. So this gives you Airbnb takes away a whole month of your decision-making process if you go ahead and book this site. Now, what I would do is I would reach out to Aylin and ask Aylin if, I guess it's a female, I think, if she would honor the cancellation policy of booking and see if she'll let me cancel up to January 6th, or I would go to booking.com and show that Airbnb price and do the price match guarantee. Now, because I am a genius level on Booking, and I actually kind of get credit for using Booking, I would probably book this at Booking if Booking gave me that price match guarantee and I go ahead and book it. Because as a nomad, I need flexibility in my time because our plans constantly change and you never know what might happen, especially since we're booking this out all the way in January of 2025.
All right, we got our house booked. We know where we're flying. We know where we're eating. We know how we're getting there. But what are we going to do when we get there? How are we going to figure all that out?
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to just show up in a location and just figure it out with no plan at all.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
I have found, especially if you're going to be in a location for more than a few days, and we typically go someplace for a month, to get on a particular Facebook group, and sometimes there are two or three different Facebook groups for a particular community that you're going to, and they got great information, and you can really get the inside scoop on what's happening in a community and how you can connect with other people and learn about activities and learn about events.
It's the same way you would use Facebook in your own town. I mean, if you're from Denver, you probably been in a bunch of Denver groups. Same thing. Pick those groups, the equivalent groups in the other towns. So find the expat groups or the neighborhood groups or the vegan groups or the pickleball groups or the disc golf, whatever you're into. Find that in that town and join those groups. And we have made all kinds of contacts and found. And when you're in that group, you can see the activities for that group and see what the events that are going on. So you can go and join those too. So, and then the other way you like to use Facebook, this is the shopper extraordinaire here.
Facebook Marketplace, again, is something that a lot of people use. I'm sure you use it in your home community to kind of get rid of it or buy things.
Yeah.
If I'm going someplace, and I've used this for hiking boots. I needed hiking boots, good quality hiking boots that I only needed for one day, but I needed them. And I was able to find an excellent pair of Salomon waterproof hiking boots on Facebook Marketplace for a great price. But another example is I wanted a bicycle. I knew we were going to be in a location for 5 weeks, and Facebook Marketplace was a great place to find, and again also a great way to get to know some locals. And
that boy was funny. The boy that had the bicycle, he was cute.
Bicycle was crazy.
Anyway, and then when you're done, you can just put it back on Facebook Marketplace and sell it. So it's a great way to cycle through things.
Yeah.
So those are our 6 tools for and so that's how we kind of manufactured our little script here, so you can see just the problems that we go through every day, and then the tools that we use every day to get through that.
What a day! I'm exhausted.
I know, it's 10 minutes later, and we've done all these things. But what tools do you use, and do you have any questions about the tools that we shared with you? We love learning about new tools. Absolutely.
Learn something every day.
Yeah, and we're adding new tools all the time. We'll do another video here in 6 months. It'll be 6 completely different tools. But these 6 are the workhorses. I mean, the absolute in our tool belt. We use them every day, multiple times a day in, day out. Right? Great.
Absolutely.
See you next week.